the show where we take your questions, your insights, your real-life experiences, and we unpack them. We try to find those really important nuggets of knowledge and understanding.
Think of it like your shortcut to being well-informed, maybe drawing some surprising connections.
Yeah, and maybe sparking an aha moment or two along the way. Today, we are diving deep into a whole stack of questions that you, our listener, sent in.
That's right. These came through different channels. Maybe you're in one of our courses, or maybe you just dropped a question in the YouTube comments.
And we've gathered some really thoughtful ones. They touch on, the texture of daily life, that constant search for balance, right?
And some surprising everyday habits, too, that actually reveal more than you might think.
So our mission here in this deep dive is to use your questions and the answers, really, as our source material.
Exactly. We're going to explore the real-life details, the strategies that pop up, and see what maybe universal principles we can pull out.
It's everything from, how we handle grocery shopping.
Okay.
Seems simple, right?
Right. To tackling that huge question of managing a super busy life.
All the way down to, the songs that just stick with us.
And speaking of uncovering insights, we've actually put together something a little extra special for you related to this deep dive.
We have. It's a free PDF worksheet. It's connected to this whole conversation.
Now, it's got the vocabulary we'll be discussing today, which is always useful.
Always helpful, yeah.
But it also unlocks something exclusive. It gives you access to a bonus conversation video.
Right, where we dive into even more listener questions.
And this bonus conversation, it covers some really fascinating topics we just couldn't squeeze in here. Things like what dishes we actually like to cook.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Do we have a garden? Whether Americans can easily understand other English accents, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. What book we've enjoyed recently.
And even how kids learn to spell in school, so it really is an extension of this chat.
And here's, the really key point. This bonus conversation, it's not going up on YouTube publicly. Not anywhere else.
Nope. It's exclusive. Only for people who download the worksheet.
So to get it, you just click the link in the description, below this video or wherever you're listening.
Pop in your name and email.
And boom, the PDF worksheet lands right in your inbox.
And inside that PDF, there's a link. That's what unlocks the bonus conversation, just for you.
It's just a way to kind of keep exploring these interesting questions, right? And get even more insight into daily life and learning.
Exactly. Keep the conversation going.
Totally. And a little bonus on top of the bonus.
Oh, yeah.
Once you sign up for this free PDF, you're set. You don't need to sign up ever again for my free PDF worksheets.
Well, that's handy.
Yeah. I'll just automatically send you the worksheet for every new deep dive, every new lesson I put out, straight to your email every week.
Sign up once, get them week after week.
Yep. It's just a simple way to keep getting those extra resources. It's really my gift to you for being part of this community.
So it's designed to help you keep learning, keep engaging, beyond just this main discussion.
Absolutely. So get ready. We have a lot to unpack from your questions.
Okay.
Let's start with one that might seem a bit mundane on the surface anyway, but it actually reveals quite a bit about daily logistics planning.
Okay, let's unpack this. So our first question, it comes from Sergey. He's one of our Fearless Fluency Club students.
Ah, great. Hi, Sergey.
Sergey asks, how often do you go to the grocery store and how do you get there? Public transportation or just a car? Thanks in advance, Sergey.
Thanks, Sergey. That's actually a great place to start. It kind of anchors us in the practical, the reality of everyday life. How often do we find ourselves pushing that cart down the aisle?
I would say looking at our typical week, probably maybe twice.
Twice a week, yeah. That sounds about right. Though it's not always rigidly scheduled.
No. We usually have one big shop, right?
Right, the big one. That's the strategic mission.
Exactly. The big shop, usually once a week.
Yeah.
That's where we go in with a list, kind of knowing roughly what meals we're planning.
Trying to plan, yeah.
Trying to plan. And we buy, the bulk of the groceries. Staples, meat, frozen stuff, maybe produce that lasts a bit longer, that kind of thing.
And then there's the inevitable, the little shop.
The little shop.
Yeah.
That's the emergency run. You always forget something crucial on the big trip.
Always. Or you realize you needed something specific that, oops, wasn't at the main store.
Or you just run out of milk. Or bread. Midweek. Happens all the time.
So that second trip, it's usually smaller, faster, often totally unplanned.
Yeah, that's the oops, we need milk, or oh no, the bananas are all gone trip.
Exactly. And thinking about who does which trip, you mentioned you don't hit the big grocery stores quite as often anymore.
Well, yeah, because my main workplace now is pretty far from those like bigger grocery store hubs,
Right.
some kind of geographically distanced from the grocery store action, you could say.
And I am much closer to the action, especially the action involving taking a toddler into the grocery store.
Oh, boy.
That is a whole different kind of action movie, let me tell you.
The toddler in the cart saga.
Yeah.
Navigating those narrow aisles with a small person who wants to grab literally everything. It's an experience.
It definitely adds a layer of complexity to that little shop, no question.
So, okay, that's frequency, basic strategy. What about getting there? Sergey asked about public transport versus a car.
Right. Now, technically, we live relatively close to a grocery store. I mean, distance-wise, we could probably walk there.
We could walk there, but walking back with like several bags of groceries.
Oh, forget it. That would be torture. Maybe one bag, okay. But a week's worth? Nope.
Thank you.
And that really shows a common thing in a lot of the U.S., right? Like, cities might be getting more walkable, but the infrastructure, it's often just not set up for carrying a bunch of groceries on foot for, any real distance.
And biking. That's another option in theory.
In theory, it's probably close enough to bike, maybe, 30 minutes each way?
Something like that. I've thought about it. It's kind of on my someday bucket list.
But again, the infrastructure thing is a huge hurdle.
Huge.
You'd be sharing the road with cars going pretty fast sometimes, and dedicated bike lanes. They're not always there, or they just end randomly.
So that 5-minute drive suddenly becomes, what, an hour-plus round trip by bike before you even step inside the store.
Exactly. And that's not even counting trying to haul groceries back on a bike. You need special bags, maybe a trailer.
Adds cost, complexity.
And then there's the kids factor. You can't just easily strap young kids onto a bike for a grocery run.
No. So if you want a bike, you have to find a specific time when the other parent is home to watch the kids.
Which, with our schedules, finding that dedicated chunk of time, it's a big investment. An hour just for transit plus shopping.
So, despite maybe wanting to be more active or more eco-friendly, this sheer convenience, the logistical necessity,
Yeah.
especially with young kids and buying in bulk.
Driving just wins out, almost always.
Yeah. It's a 5-minute car ride versus like an hour-plus bike mission or a completely impossible walk.
It really shows how those small daily tasks get dictated by convenience, time, the way things are built around us.
Yeah. Location, lifestyle, they often override other preferences, just for pure efficiency.
Totally.
Oh.
Now, speaking of where we shop, we mostly go to a store called Trader Joe's.
Ah, yes. Trader Joe's.
I know I talk about it a lot, but it's really a place that has, I don't know.
They have absolutely mastered the art of the grocery store experience. That's what it is.
They really have. If you're ever visiting the U.S., honestly, I'd say just pop into a Trader Joe's, even just to buy a few snacks. It's worth checking out.
Why? What's special?
The people who work there are just consistently so nice.
It's not like typical U.S. customer service, is it? It feels very intentional.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Totally intentional. If you actually want to have a spontaneous, genuinely pleasant chat with a stranger working there, Trader Joe's is your spot.
They'll ask you things, right? Like,
Oh, yeah. Oh, how's your day going? Doing anything fun this afternoon? Hey, have you ever tried this before? Oh, where are you from? They actually engage with you.
and like you said, that's not by accident. It's baked into their marketing, their whole strategy.
And you know what? It works.
Clearly.
It totally works. I always leave feeling just a little bit better. They've got these, good vibes. Everyone wears Hawaiian shirts. It's part of the whole charm.
It's fascinating as a business model, isn't it? They're not just selling you bananas and pasta. They're selling a feeling, a little micro-community interaction.
Yeah. And that's so different from just the purely transactional feel you get in a lot of other stores. It kind of turns a chore into something slightly enjoyable.
It's a smart way to stand out, build loyalty.
Mhm.
Shows how even in the most routine stuff, there's room for, human connection and a deliberately created atmosphere.
That's a really good point. So, Sergey, that's our deep dive on grocery runs. The frequency, the strategy, the transport stuff dictated by convenience, and even those little cultural bits about customer service.
Yeah, it's a good example. Even a simple question can unpack deeper patterns about daily life.
Absolutely. And that kind of leads us to a question that's maybe less about logistics and more about the overwhelming reality of modern life itself.
Right. We're shifting gears a bit here, moving from a fairly light question to a much more serious one.
Indeed. This next one, it came in different forms from several listeners, actually. Carmen, Masako, Don Grimm, and Tracy.
Right. They all ask variations on that theme of how do you possibly do it all?
Yeah. And they listed things they see, kids, running the business, managing the house, food, maybe the chickens got mentioned somewhere. Just this really long list of, well, busyness.
It is a lot. Tracy specifically said, Vanessa, you are so busy. I believe your daily life is quite hectic. You must care for 3 children, film lessons, prepare lesson plans, among other things. I am just curious if you have time for yourself.
Wow. Yeah.
Dongram asked, do you often do overtime? You run your business. I think it must be inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
Masako wanted to know, you have numerous roles and responsibilities. What's your highest priority?
Oh, question.
And Carmen asked, how many times a week can you carve out spare time for yourself? Thanks a lot, dear teacher.
So the core here, it's really about managing all that complexity, right? Juggling all these demanding roles and just trying to keep your sanity.
Yeah. How do you do so many things without just completely collapsing? It's a question so many people wrestle with.
It really is. And the simple answer, maybe a bit blunt, but
We don't do it all.
that's it. That's the absolute key principle, isn't it? You cannot, and honestly, you probably shouldn't try to do everything.
No way. You have to make choices, often really hard choices.
Yeah.
You have to pick and choose a lot of things.
It demands this kind of radical prioritization.
Yeah. For me personally, that's meant consciously cutting out hobbies I used to enjoy. Things that were fun, but, didn't directly contribute to the family or my core responsibilities right now in this phase of life.
Like video games.
Exactly. Used to love them. But I've got pretty much a 0 video game policy now.
Wow.
Not because they're bad, but they're a huge time sink, and they just don't line up with our current priorities. It means being, like you said before, a lot more selfless right now.
Especially with 3 young kids. Which, yes, makes life undeniably hectic.
Hectic is the word.
It truly is. And a massive part of managing that hecticness, like you pointed out, is having a strong partnership.
Absolutely crucial.
Having that good relationship, good communication.
Mm-hmm.
It lets you share the load. Now, in the past, my role was different. I wasn't working a, traditional job outside the home.
Right. You handle a huge amount of the child care, the household stuff.
And I was working for your business, too, essentially.
Which took a massive load off me at that time. You were arguably busier with the business side back then.
Yeah, the burden kind of shifts, doesn't it? And then we went through this very conscious transition phase.
We did. We restructured our lives, our finances, our work setups.
So that I could take a job outside the home, and you could actually reduce your direct workload by, importantly, hiring more people to support the business.
Which highlights another key principle. Building a support system. Learning to delegate.
Oh, absolutely essential. A business like Speak English with Vanessa, or really any complex project, any household, it doesn't run because one person does everything perfectly.
No way. It runs because there's a team.
Exactly. You have to depend on other people, and that's not always obvious from the outside, is it?
No. When you, the listener, see the final product, maybe it's a finished lesson or this deep dive or even just, a homemade dinner on the table every night.
Right.
You don't see all the layers of support behind it.
It's like the invisible infrastructure. For instance, you hear this podcast. Hopefully the audio sounds smooth.
Hopefully.
But you don't see our editor, David, skillfully taking out, the lawnmower noise that started up earlier.
Oh,
If I had to do that myself, trying to edit audio precisely with 3 kids running around, the quality would suffer, or it just wouldn't get done. It wouldn't be possible.
And it's smart to recognize you're not the best at everything. I'm certainly not.
Me neither.
Knowing where other people have skills, like Kevin editing videos, Elsa handling emails, Amber helping with lessons, that's crucial. Delegation isn't just about pushing tasks off.
No, it's about leveraging skills, using the right person for the right job.
Exactly. And this whole behind-the-scenes idea, it applies to home life, too. Like you said, the appearance of homemade dinners every night.
Yeah.
That's the polished result.
Right. The reality behind that, it's significant planning, organization, effort.
Like me making dinner today at, 1 p.m.?
Yeah, all that chopping, the prepping, just planning out what it would be when it needed to happen.
That's the work that makes the final product seem easy. It takes foresight, organization, but man, it smooths things out so much in the evening when things are usually craziest.
So, okay, summing up those core strategies. Radical prioritization, saying no to stuff.
Yep.
Building a strong partnership and support system, delegation, teamwork, and just significant behind-the-scenes organization.
Right. Then on a more personal level, there's that mindset tip you try to apply,
Yeah.
though you admit it's not always easy.
Not always successful. Take it with a grain of salt. But yeah, it's trying to cultivate mindful presence.
Trying to be 100% in whatever you're doing at that moment.
Yeah. Like when I'm gardening with the kids, I try really hard not to be thinking about the next YouTube video I need to film.
And when you're in the office brainstorming, try not to worry about what's for dinner.
Exactly. I consciously try to just focus on the task right in front of me, and this is especially important when I'm with my children. The goal isn't just about ticking off boxes or being productive.
It's about being present with them.
Yes, because multitasking, it's usually less efficient anyway.
Oh, yeah. Studies show that.
Yeah,
You end up doing 5 things poorly instead of 1 thing well, and feeling stressed.
totally. So I try my best to just, sit in the sandbox and be in the sandbox.
And Mark?
Or play a game and just play the game without constantly checking my email or letting my mind race ahead to the next thing on the giant to-do list.
That's a practice, though, not
Cool.
perfection.
Oh, absolutely a practice. I don't do it perfectly, but it's kind of my goal.
Yeah.
And that practice of focusing, bringing your attention fully to one thing, it really is a powerful tool against feeling scattered and, well, hectic.
Yeah, when your brain feels like it's juggling 500 things, of course you feel overwhelmed.
Right. So it's about noticing those moments, even the small ones, when you do have a chance to just be calm. Maybe you're going for a walk or planting something, reading a story.
And consciously choosing to embrace that moment instead of letting your mind drag you back into the task cycle.
Yeah. Just embrace it. Be there.
Now, there's one final really crucial piece we need to mention here, which is the space and flexibility required to actually do some of these things.
Oh, absolutely. We are very fortunate. We have a career structure that allows for a degree of flexibility that, frankly, many people just don't have.
It's a privilege. Let's be clear about that.
Definitely a privilege. So many people work traditional 9-to-5 jobs, maybe with mandatory overtime, in really rigid structures.
They don't have the option to just shift their workday to make dinner at 1 p.m.
Or coordinate schedules easily for a workout across the street. Or delegate professional tasks in the same way.
Our situation, while it's still demanding, it is structured so we can build our own schedules, at least to some extent. And that flexibility is a massive advantage in managing everything.
It really is. And it's interesting to see this whole trend being discussed more widely now, right? The desire for more flexible work, working from home, moving away from that old school presenteeism.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how that evolves. There seems to be a definite push, especially from the younger generation coming into the workforce.
They seem less willing to just accept that traditional corporate grind,
Yeah.
They prioritize flexibility, work-life balance more.
It creates this really interesting tension, doesn't it, between the old models and these new expectations. There's going to be a lot of give and take as society figures out how to make it work.
For sure, it's definitely a complex issue. And as this question from Carmen, Masako, Dongrim, and Tracy shows, it's something on a lot of people's minds.
It's a can of worms, like you said, but a really important one to dive into.
Yeah, definitely worth spending some time on.
And that need for balance, which came up explicitly in one of those questions, leads us really nicely into the next topic.
That's right. This one's from Eleonora. She asked, do you do yoga? But then she added the crucial part, in order to balance yourself.
Connecting activity directly to self-care and balance. Thanks, Eleanor.
Yeah, thank you, Eleonora. So first part of the question, do you do yoga?
No. Not currently. Not in any, consistent way. I've tried it.
We did it together, remember? For quite a while back in South Korea.
We did. That was probably the longest stretch, maybe a year.
Something like that.
And honestly, it's just not really for me. I like the idea of yoga. I like the vibes, but I have zero flexibility, none. So I found it more frustrating than balancing.
See, I'm the opposite. I actually like doing yoga. But like so many things we've just talked about, I feel like I don't have a life for it right now.
That seasons of life thing again. Prioritization.
Exactly. I would absolutely love to go to a real in-person yoga class. Maybe twice a week. That sounds amazing. But right now, I'm choosing to be the main caregiver for our youngest all day.
And fitting work into naps and after bedtime.
Right. And we could hire help. We have the financial means to get a nanny or put her in daycare part-time so I could go to a class.
But that adds another whole layer of coordination, scheduling, organizing.
To an already pretty complex life.
Yeah.
So my current choice is just to lean into the season, prioritize the caregiving, work when I can, and find other ways to build balance.
So the yoga dream isn't dead, it's just deferred.
Exactly. Deferred, not abandoned. When she's older, maybe in school, a couple years perhaps, then absolutely, I'll be looking for those classes.
You have a place in mind, right?
I do. There's a local place, Asheville Community Yoga, that I really love the feel of. It's a nonprofit. And the cool thing is, all the teachers are volunteers.
Wow.
Yeah. That just blows my mind. People giving their time and skill just out of generosity. It creates this really wonderful giving atmosphere. I'd love to be part of that community regularly someday.
That really highlights the social side, the community aspect of exercise
Yeah.
and self-care. That can be just as important as the physical part.
It really can. But okay, for right now, for exercise, we've actually kind of stumbled into what feels like the perfect setup for this particular season.
Fortune has landed upon our laps, as they say.
It really has, in the form of a neighbor.
A neighbor, yeah.
Our new neighbor happens to be a personal trainer, Lindsay. She's wonderful. Some of you in the Fearless Fluency Club might remember her. She joined us for a chat back in February.
And she's got us pumping iron, lifting weights.
She has. And the best part, she lives right across the street.
That is key. Reducing that friction we talked about, making it easy.
So easy. I go over to her house twice a week to lift weights, and you go separately twice a week.
We have to stagger it because someone needs to be home with the kids.
It's the handoff routine. You come home from work, I say bye, final, walk across the street.
Next day, my turn.
And lifting weights. Honestly, that's something I would never have started consistently on my own. I wouldn't know what to do, how to do it safely.
So Lindsay provides the structure, the knowledge.
And the accountability. It's pretty hard to skip your workout when your trainer lives literally across the street and can see your house.
True. And it's social too, right? You get to chat with her, you like her as a person.
Totally. And she knows your stuff. How to program workouts, how to do the moves right so you don't get hurt. It's just ideal because I just show up, she tells me what to do, she's made the plan. It's right there.
The barrier to entry is incredibly low compared to, say, driving across town to a gym.
Oh, massively lower. That convenience factor is just huge when you're trying to stick to a routine in a busy life. Minimizes the excuses.
And lifting weights, it's obviously different from yoga, but it still offers huge benefits. Strength, bone density, metabolism.
It's a different kind of intentional movement, right? Engaging your body, focusing it.
Intentional movement. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Connecting with your body, even if it's through lifting heavy things instead of stretching.
Now, Eleanor's question specifically linked yoga to balance. And while lifting weights is maybe less focused on the mindfulness and breathing side.
Like yoga often is.
Right. The need for balance goes beyond just physical exercise, doesn't it?
No, absolutely. Balance includes physical, sure, but also mental, emotional, even social well-being. Yoga often hits that mindfulness piece, which is huge for mental balance.
And that is an area where we, and I think maybe a lot of Americans generally, kind of struggle.
You think?
Yeah, we're very, very go. Always moving, always doing, always feeling that pressure to be productive. There's just not much cultural emphasis on slowing down.
No, the culture tends to reward constant activity, not stillness.
Exactly. So while we're not doing formal yoga or meditating consistently every single day, we are actively trying our best to build in moments of mindfulness, moments of just slowing down.
What does that look like practically?
It could be super simple, like just noticing your breathing for 5 minutes, or just checking in, how am I feeling right now, physically, emotionally.
So integrating those little moments of self-awareness into the day. Recognizing that balance isn't just about juggling tasks. It's also about managing your internal state.
Yeah. And we've even tried to bring this to our kids, which is a whole other adventure.
The stillness practice.
The stillness practice. It's our noble experiment. Before bed, we try to sit on the couch, put on some quiet, meditative type music.
Like light a candle?
Light a candle, and everyone just sits quietly and stares into the flame for maybe 5 minutes, or until the song's done.
The idea being to help everyone, especially the kids, calm down, transition towards sleep.
That's the idea. It doesn't always work.
Sometimes it dissolves into giggles or wiggles.
Definitely doesn't work perfectly every time. But even for moments within that 5 minutes, I see them and I feel myself taking deeper breaths, kind of releasing tension.
Even if it's just for 30 seconds or a minute.
Yeah. Practicing that ability to just be still and quiet, even briefly, feels valuable.
And the kids seem to get it too, don't they? On some level.
They do. When they actually manage the full 5 minutes, they are so proud of themselves, they'll announce it. We did it! 5 minutes!
Like it's a major achievement.
Because for them, it is hard, but they feel that sense of accomplishment. It shows even kids can recognize the difficulty and maybe the benefit of conscious calm.
And this whole idea, teaching mindfulness, self-regulation, It's gaining ground, isn't it? Like in schools.
Yeah, definitely. The alternative school you teach at does some of this, right?
We do, yeah. Trying to incorporate it.
I think it's getting more common, seeing yoga pop up in schools or teachers starting the day with just a few minutes of mindfulness exercises.
And it makes sense. It helps the students focus, regulate their emotions,
Mm,
which certainly helps the teacher have a calmer, more centered classroom, too.
absolutely. Better learning happens when kids feel regulated and present.
Cognitive learning and emotional regulation are deeply linked.
Totally. So, Eleanor, those are some of our ways of trying to find balance. Physical activity that fits this phase of life. Conscious efforts to build in mindfulness and stillness, even in small ways, for us and the kids.
They're tools, right? Not perfect solutions, just
Yeah.
different tools in the toolbox to help navigate the hecticness and feel a bit more grounded.
Exactly. And they really underline how balance isn't static, it's dynamic. You adapt to the season you're in, use the tools you have available to support your body and mind.
Well said.
All right. Switching gears just a little bit, but still talking about fitting things into a busy life. This next question is actually specifically for me.
Oh, boy. Okay. My turn to just listen.
You get to just listen. This one comes from Camila, another student in the Fearless Fluency Club.
Yeah.
She asks, how do you fit learning French into your daily life? Thank you, Camila.
That's a question so many language learners face, isn't it? The practical challenge. How do you stay consistent when life is demanding?
It really is the core challenge. My approach, Camila, is kind of twofold. One, I try to be really realistic about what I can actually commit to right now. And two, I prioritize making it enjoyable.
Realistic and enjoyable. Okay.
So what I feel capable of doing consistently in this current season, and honestly what I most want to do, is actively speak the language with someone.
So a very clear output-focused goal.
Yes, that means right now I'm not focused on massively increasing my vocabulary using flashcards or something, or spending hours watching French movies.
You're not a big movie person anyway, right?
Not really in any language, but, watching movies is a great method for lots of people. Totally valid, just doesn't fit my priorities or capacity right now. What does fit is talking.
So how do you make that happen? Structure it.
I commit to one French lesson a week. Just one. It's about 30 minutes long. I pay a French teacher. She's a lovely woman from France, and we just talk on video chat.
That's what you talk about.
Just life. She guides the conversation, mostly. She knows a bit about my life, our family, so she'll ask follow-up stuff like, oh, last week you mentioned you were doing X. How did that go? Sometimes we get into deeper things, philosophize a bit,
Yep.
Whatever comes up naturally.
So it's real organic communication.
Exactly. And she's amazing, a wonderful conversationalist, asks great questions. And the crucial part, Camila, is just like working out with Lindsay across the street.
You just have to show up.
I just have to show up. I don't have to plan the lesson. I don't have to prepare anything specific. It dramatically lowers the friction.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The rest of my life feels like it's filled with planning, organizing, being responsible for other people. For those 30 minutes, my only job is to show up and speak French.
And you're still learning in the process.
Oh, definitely. I learn because she'll gently correct mistakes or suggest a better way to say something, maybe type new words in the chat. But the main goal isn't drilling grammar, it's the practice of speaking. Producing the language in a real interaction.
Consistent output practice. That's key for fluency.
Yes. For me right now, it's about maintaining the level I have. It's dedicated time just for me, it's enjoyable. And it feels productive because I'm keeping the language alive, keeping it accessible for maybe when I have more time later for deeper study. I actually get excited for that 30 minutes of French chat each week. It's fun.
And that really highlights a core principle in language learning, doesn't it? The absolute necessity of active output, input listening, reading. It's foundational. You need it.
Totally.
But you don't actually develop fluency, that ability to retrieve words quickly, build sentences on the fly, without practicing speaking and writing. It's the difference between recognizing a word passively.
And actually being able to use it yourself in a real conversation.
Exactly.
And this, honestly, this is the number one thing I tell my own students. If you are serious about improving your English, you must find time to speak it regularly with another person.
Make it non-negotiable.
Yes, if you feel like you genuinely cannot find 30 minutes a week, just half an hour, to speak with someone, you need to seriously reevaluate your priorities because it is absolutely possible.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
Once a week.
Why is it so vital? Okay, first, accountability. You've got a time booked with someone else. Second, it's real. It's authentic conversation. You have to understand in real time, react formulate your own thoughts, respond.
You're not just passively taking stuff in.
No, you're not just reading a book or watching this video. You are active. You're participating in this dynamic exchange. That real-life communication builds confidence and fluency faster than almost anything else.
It forces you to use the language under a bit of pressure, which is where the real growth happens.
It does. And look, it can feel incredibly scary, especially at first. I get it. You might feel nervous, unsure what to say, worried about mistakes. All of that is totally normal.
Everyone feels that way starting out.
Everyone. But you can do it. And it's essential if your goal is genuine fluency, real confidence. You want to communicate in English. Speaking is the practice of communication. You got to do it.
And finding a supportive place to do that practice can make all the difference.
Oh, absolutely. Which ties back nicely to the Fearless Fluency Club students like Camilla who asked this. One of the best features of the course, I think, is the student-led speaking groups.
Right. Students meeting up specifically to talk.
Yes. They get together on Zoom multiple times a week just to practice speaking with each other.
It's like a built-in community just for output practice.
Exactly. And because everyone in the group is also learning, they understand. They get that nervous feeling, that frustration of not finding the right word, the hesitation. They support each other. It is so amazing to see.
That shared experience, the mutual support,
Yeah.
it lowers that psychological barrier, doesn't it?
It really, really does. So if you're listening and thinking, okay, I need to speak, but who do I talk to? Consider joining the Fearless Fluency Club and jumping into one of those student-led speaking groups.
Take the plunge.
Yeah! It will feel scary the first few times. That's okay. That's expected. But after a few weeks, then a few months of doing it consistently in that supportive space, you'll be amazed at how much more confident you feel, more comfortable, even excited about speaking English. Plus, you make friends from all over the world. How cool is that?
We've definitely seen students form real connections, haven't we? Even meeting up in person sometimes.
Oh, it makes my heart so happy when I hear about students meeting up in different countries. That's the power of language, connecting people. So, Camila and anyone else wrestling with this, remember the principles. Be realistic. Find something enjoyable, like real conversation. Prioritize it. Lower the friction. Even just 30 minutes a week makes a huge difference.
That's a great takeaway. Consistent effort, finding your way to practice, makes all the difference.
Okay, let's move on. Our next question dives into another one of those everyday habits that turns out to be surprisingly revealing about culture.
All right, this one's from Walter. He asked, do Americans brush their teeth in the morning? And then he wanted more detail. In general, do American people brush their teeth after or before breakfast, or twice? Warmest regards.
Thanks, Walter. This is a fantastic question. Seems so simple, but wow, it highlights how even basic personal care routines can vary so much across cultures, even between individuals in the same culture.
Definitely. First, the disclaimer, right? We can only talk about our habits, general observations, not for all Americans.
Exactly. I think this is actually pretty varied. I don't think there's one single rigid standard here at all.
It's funny how something so personal touches on those cultural norms about public versus private space, daily rituals.
It really is. My most striking experience with this difference was when we lived in South Korea. Remember that? It was incredibly common there for people to brush their teeth after every meal.
Oh, yeah, including lunch.
Yeah.
At work, at school.
You'd walk into the office bathroom after lunch, and there'd be like a group of adults all standing at the sinks brushing their teeth together.
Which felt weird to us at first, didn't it?
Totally weird. Coming from a U.S. background where brushing teeth felt like this very private, do it in your own bathroom kind of thing, seeing colleagues doing it publicly in a shared bathroom felt surprising, almost like unprofessional, which is completely irrational, but it just shows those ingrained expectations about what's public versus private hygiene.
But then you quickly understood the practical side in Korea.
Oh, I got it fast,
Yeah.
especially after eating kimchi.
The little red pepper flakes.
Always.
Yeah.
Stuck right in your teeth. So, brushing after lunch makes total sense from a comfort perspective, a social perspective. It's a practical response to the food and the cultural norms around appearance. Fascinating how diet shapes habits.
So, okay, back to the U.S. context.
Yeah.
For us, and probably many Americans, the standard routine we learned as kids was usually
Brush your teeth in the morning and brush them in the evening before bed. That was the basic instruction.
And Walter's specific question, morning timing. Before or after breakfast?
Okay, thinking back to childhood, I think the general vibe was brush your teeth in the morning, and that usually meant right after you woke up, which is often before breakfast.
Even though logically it makes more sense to brush after eating, right? to clean away the food.
Totally. It makes more sense after, but the habit for many seems tied more to the wake up and get ready routine rather than the post-eating cleanup routine.
Interesting. And what about now? What's our current habit?
Nowadays, okay, I almost always brush my teeth in the evening before bed. That's pretty solid. In the morning, probably close to every day. Usually right when I wake up, before eating anything.
Why before?
Honestly, sometimes it's just motivated by not wanting you to smell my morning breath. So yeah, brush right after waking, then have breakfast, and I don't typically brush again right after breakfast, unless there's like a specific reason.
Like getting bits and pieces of food out, as you say.
Yes, that's my extra little habit I've picked up. Especially since I work from home now, it's easy. Sometimes after a meal, I won't do a full brush with toothpaste, but I'll just rinse my mouth and quickly run a toothbrush over my teeth.
Just to dislodge anything obvious.
Yeah, it's like my waving a toothbrush in front of your face magic, just getting rid of food bits.
A pragmatic solution made possible by being home with easy bathroom access.
Exactly. If I were working in a formal office, I probably wouldn't be doing that midday toothbrush wave. So see, even my own habits change based on my environment and routine.
So based on general observation, what's commonly taught, the standard American practice, if there is one, is probably brushing after waking up, often before breakfast, and then again before going to bed.
Yeah, that feels like the most common frequency and timing, morning and night.
But again, not universal. Some people only brush once. Some always brush after breakfast. Some use mouthwash like crazy. It's quite personal.
It really speaks to how, even with recommended best practices for dental hygiene, what people actually do often comes down to childhood habits, personal preference, lifestyle, culture.
All those factors mixed together.
Definitely. So, hey, if you're an American listening to this, let us know in the comments. We're genuinely curious. Do you brush in the morning, before or after breakfast, twice? Are you like a dental hygiene superhero? Tell us.
All right, Walter, hope that little peek into our habits and some general thoughts helped answer your question.
It really does show, doesn't it? What seems like a totally universal daily act can have all these surprising cultural variations.
Indeed. Okay, now for our final question in this main deep dive.
Yeah.
Before we remind everyone about that bonus conversation, this one takes us into the realm of personal taste, emotion.
Yes. This is from Usra Rare Moon on YouTube. And the question is, what is a song you can listen to and never be bored? Thank you, Usra Rare Moon. This is a fun one to end on.
Never be bored. Wow, that's a high bar. A song that always engages you no matter how many times you've heard it.
Okay, I have a couple. One is maybe a bit cliche, but I think for good reason. Can you guess?
A song you never get bored of. You? No idea. Hit me.
Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen.
Ah, okay. Yes. I can see that. That makes sense.
It is just, it's not the most exciting song, isn't it? It's not repetitive at all. It's got different movements, that whole opera